this afternoon, and it's Rutherford Issues, the Smyrna edition. Mike Sparks, County Commissioner for Rutherford County, representing the great folks here in the Smyrna area, joins us once again as he usually does on these Saturday, Smyrna shows.
Wow.
I got my alliteration wrong there.
Yeah.
I couldn't get you out of the house on a Saturday, can we?
No, I'm still sleeping.
I understand. Yep, I understand that. Well, what's going on with you?
Oh, not much. Just over here at Smyrna West Alternative School. We got a couple of young folks here with us that's done our job shadow. We've got Jenny Williams, our Smyrna Rotary Club president and owner of Gill's Ace Hardware. Glad to have you here with us, Jenny.
Glad to be here.
Pull that up a little closer to you there, Jenny, so we want to be able to hear those beautiful tones that you put out there. Let's talk about Rotary a little bit today. What is the Smyrna Rotary, and what are you doing here with the Job Shadow program? I know that there's a relationship there.
We have adopted Smyrna West Alternative School. We're like their PTO organization, parent teacher organization. And Mrs. Kay Davenport is a wonderful principal here, and she has special projects, and we help with a grant to them, a $2,500 grant, and that way she's able to do special events for the students, or special recognition or appreciation for different things, and they've bought books and software programs, just whatever they need. We allow them to spend it any way they feel like they need it.
Having this type of relationship, Mike, I know that you as the one who helps decide what schools get as a county commissioner and money and all, just those tax dollars alone pay for the structure and salaries, but a lot of the things that go into the classrooms, a lot of the extra things that, teachers are a special breed because they definitely put forth a lot of their own money and talents, and to have, like the Smyrna Rotary helping out Smyrna West,
Exactly.
it happens all over the county.
Yeah. Well, I think that you need more of the community involvement. I think we need to reach out to some churches to be involved, whether it's school projects like this, or whether it's the Correctional Work Center, or juvenile detention facility. I think you've got to get the community involved. These young people here today, I had two with me today, and they were just great, very polite young men, and just very attentive, and to me, you've got to get the community involved to make a difference. What irritates me, I guess, in government, for one, is bureaucracy. It takes so long to get anything done. As a business person, running my business, I want to get out there and make things happen, and make a decision and act on it, rather than take 6 months to try to turn something around and make a decision. But one person I want to thank, and he's one of the sponsors, and that's Smyrna Ready Mix, Mike Hollingshead. I know Miss Davenport was wanting a pavilion done out here, and Mike, his company, Smyrna Ready Mix, come out here and poured the whole slab for this big pavilion out here, and I think they got other materials donated. But that's what I'm talking about, getting the community involved, Rotary, getting those guys and gals involved to get out here and be an influence on some of these young people, because both these boys here that was with me, I asked them, I said, is your dad in the home? And both of them, well, they got a stepfather, but their real dad's not in the home, and I feel like, you've got to have that balance in life, and if you're missing something, things get kind of out of kilter sometimes. And that doesn't mean that a child can't be brought up with step family and step parents. I know that because I have a stepdad. But sometimes, if you really look at the correlation between some of the kids that sometimes make some bad decisions, a lot of times it goes back to that family atmosphere. But that's where Rotary steps in, and you can find some positive mentors. And just want to say thank you to the Smyrna Rotary Club that participated today.
Well, now talk to us about the Job Shadow program, because it's not just a thing between the Smyrna Rotary and Smyrna West, is it? I mean, is it broader than that?
Well, Jenny may want to elaborate. Our Rotary Club, we just work with the Smyrna West school, but I guess the club members that I know, they would be eager to participate with any other school, whether it's Siegel, Eagleville, Laverne, wherever. But we've just adopted Smyrna West, and what I like is, I always think of, I always look, the healthy don't need a doctor. It's the sick that sometimes need more of a doctor. And a lot of times, and this isn't being negative towards academia or anything like that, but a lot of times those at the top seem to seem to get that positive reinforcement more, and those at the bottom sometimes don't get that positive reinforcement. Sometimes it's a negative reinforcement. So I think, if you're gonna allocate your time and resources, give the medicine to those that need it the most, and those sometimes are your sick, and sometimes those that they don't have as much. They don't have the opportunities that sometimes I've had, or you've had, and others have had.
Well, and I think it's part of the way, just because of the sheer number, I guess maybe, but you have to teach toward the middle. You have to do things toward the middle, because there are some that are at the top and some that are below, but the majority are there in the middle, and you have to kind of teach toward that and gear things and programs toward that. And that does leave some out, and there are programs for those who are gifted and all, and then there need to be more programs for those who maybe need a little extra push, a little extra nudge, a little positive reinforcement from someone that's an adult other than someone at home.
Well, we had a great speaker today. Jenny, you want to elaborate on him?
Michael Burke, who's the Riverdale girls basketball coach, was our speaker, and he was the perfect speaker today. Mrs. Davenport has worked with him. He's a great motivational speaker, and he's just really good. He's a good speaker to have today, talking about. His book is called This Ain't No Practice Life, and he goes down and outlines things, and I found it was some of the things that I had shared with my students, that set goals, and deciding that things you're going to do, good things you're going to do, and what do I need to do, and it's good things for me in taking a leadership position at my business.
When you have this job shadow and this together, I mean, was this all part of the same kind of idea? I mean, was it planned out this way, or did it just happen that way?
Well, it kind of just happened this way, and I didn't know Mrs. Davenport knew Michael, and she had, said, oh, he's conducted seminars for us, and he's an excellent speaker, and I think it was just supposed to be that way. Sometimes things happen that way. But our program chairman, Derek Rayburn, wanted a speaker that would be good for the young people, because there's 22 students that met with Rotarians, and we picked them up at 8:30 this morning, and they went to our business place. And the school here did a great job. They were asking some hard questions, things that made me think about my business. So I learned from them as they were learning from me, I hope too. And just to know that you can make an impact on a young person's life, because they're interested in what you're doing, what your life work is. And to have him as a speaker, it just was perfect, And Kay even said, Mrs. Davenport said, well, he's a great speaker for today, and I said, yeah, it worked out that way. So.
Well, Kay, first of all, we want to thank you for allowing us to come here and to participate in this program, just to shed a little light on it and what you're trying to do here at Smyrna West.
Well, I appreciate you showing an interest in our program and being with us. It's a special treat for us. How
important is this concept? I mean, the Job Shadow program, how does it work in your curriculum, and how do you think it benefits the young people?
I think it's a highlight of what they get to experience. We want to expose our students to a varied curriculum. It's a hands-on type setting. Our teachers are so interested in teaching the whole child and having as many experiences as we possibly can provide them, and we cannot do that alone. And we are so fortunate to have the Rotarians take an interest in our students, in our program, to provide not just the material needs, but the emotional needs for us, keeping our teachers motivated, and also providing the experiences that they have as a collective group with the programs that we are doing. They have come over and sat in on our literacy circles, read books together, gone on field trips with us, come and joined in on our groundbreaking for our outside classroom, our basketball court, the connection with Mike Hollinshead, who has been so generous to pour concrete for our basketball court and for our outdoor classroom. I met through Mike Sparks at the Rotary Luncheon. So networking is a big part of what I do as a principal of the alternative school, because I know how important it is to get as many different perspectives and opportunities for our students that we can possibly get, and the Rotarians have provided that community connection for us.
Talk to me a little bit about Smyrna West Alternative School. A lot of times when you hear the word alternative, it brings up negative connotations, but that's not necessarily what you've got going here.
Oh no, not at all. And when our students have gone over to David Urey or Thurman Francis or other elementary schools and participated in programs, and especially the last one, Read to Succeed, where they had practiced being a teacher and read to the younger students. The younger students thought it was a private school, and they wanted to be there because of how well our students presented the materials. Dr. Giovanni, Nikki Giovanni, she is a nationally known poet, worked with our poetry group. She's written 28 books, and all of our students have experienced her literature and poetry in their textbooks at their home schools, and she visited our school and worked with our poetry group. We were so honored. One day she was an Oprah's legend on her program, and the next day she was at Smyrna West. So we're always asking and inviting and incorporating everyone into what we do. We find a talent and we try to bring it to our school.
How many students here?
Right now we have 103 on roll.
And from what grades?
Grades 6 through 12.
6 through 12. So it's a lot different than the normal school that you're going to go into in terms of the teaching method and the way you present the material, and it's not a K-5 or a middle school or a high school. You kind of have to run the gamut there.
Yes, we do. And our faculty and staff are multi-talented and flexible and structured, and just the best highly qualified teachers you could find anywhere. And they build each other's programs. Everything overlaps here, and I can't say enough good things about our faculty and staff. They make this program run very smoothly while providing as much for the students as we possibly can.
That's Smyrna West Alternative School Principal Kay Davenport. Kay, what type of student would we see here at Smyrna West? I mean, Mike kind of mentioned and brought up the analogy of a doctor needs to see those who are sick, not those who are well. What kind of school is Smyrna West Alternative School?
Well, we have a variety of students. Some have just made a mistake. Some have just gotten in with the wrong group. Some have spent a lifetime of bad decision making, but when they come together, we try to focus on getting down to the basic and seeing how many privileges that, although this is a good place to be, we don't want to make it where they will want to stay. It's a learning opportunity, changing attitudes and behaviors. Everyone has had a problem or they wouldn't be here. And sometimes it's just the wrong crowd that they've run with at their home school. We try to focus on helping them get into society and contributing and being the best person that they can be. But we see everyone as an opportunity to make a difference in their lives.
And for them to realize a lot of us as adults have been in those same positions, and this is a part of life. I mean, that sixth grade to 12th grade, that's a time when a lot of growing up happens, and especially if you've got something negative that happens in your life, or I mean, you've got one of two directions to go, and here you're trying to steer back into the main road here, so we can all be a part of society that appreciates being in the mainstream and just get through those situations and those bumps in the road. Would that kind of be
That's exactly right.
a roundabout way of saying that?
And nothing is too big for them to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
That everyone makes mistakes, everyone can learn from them and move on.
And in terms of you being the principal and the teachers here, how rewarding is it when you have some people come back in 2 or 3 years or even longer down the road and say, this is where I got on the right path, and this is where I am today, and I wouldn't be there had I not had that little corrective steering?
Oh, it makes us feel wonderful to be able to be a part of that. Every day is so challenging but rewarding, even in small ways, and we see the improvement from the student from the time they get here until they're ready to leave. And we have heartaches. Some do not learn the first time. We've had some repeaters, but we always feel like down the road, when they are more mature, that they will always remember something that we have done, because it is a positive place.
Well, that's and it's good to have a positive place, because in some situations this may be the only positive. You know, I can't speak for everyone, and everyone's situation is different, and sometimes they may not feel like it's the positive place at the time, but
Exactly.
you know, when you get to the valley, to get to the top, it's a long road sometimes.
Right.
Well, Kay, again, we thank you for allowing us to come here. I know we've got some of the best young people you've got gathered we're going to talk to here in a few minutes.
And we even have one of our teachers that would like to share too, so we'll just pass this along around.
Very good. Thank you, Kay.
Thank you.
And what we're gonna do now, we need to take a little break and check on some weather and things of that nature first, and then we'll be back with more conversation. But let's check on your forecast. Right now, we're school. It's Rutherford Issues, the Smyrna edition, and as always, County Commissioner Mike Sparks, or better known as Michael J. Sparks.
Yeah, you were reading my business card.
Let me turn you up there a little bit.
Yeah.
Michael J. That's kind of like sounds like a basketball name or something.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not so much.
All right. We're going to do the trivia question we talked about?
Let's throw it out there. You go ahead.
You want me to answer it or ask it?
I don't want you to answer it. I'd
Okay.
ask it to you. But good.
Well, we've got a book here by Dan Miller. It's called No More Mondays. And Dan's a great guy, and I know we've had him on the air before. He's a career coach, 48days.com. But Dan, if anybody follows motivational stuff, I met with him yesterday. He's donated us several books here, donated some books to Smyrna West School here, donated some other books for the county system that we're going to try to get out to Wayne Blair and a couple of school board members, maybe try to pass out to the schools. But went out there and picked them up yesterday. He had lunch with Zig Ziglar last week, but his books are in Barnes & Noble. Great guy, been a great mentor for me, but we want to give out one of his books today. So these are people that's maybe having difficulty with career choices and so forth. It'd be a good book, especially with Whirlpool closing up, people that's going to be making some job transitions and so forth. But this is the trivia question. I guess, what do you want to make it, the first caller?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Let's
First
do that.
caller, 893-1450.
That's correct.
Let me get this question right. Okay. What Rutherford County school teacher, they're not a teacher right now, but what Rutherford County employee, I guess we could say, led the Smyrna girls basketball team, Smyrna Bulldogs basketball team, to the state championship in 1983?
All right.
First caller.
893-1450. And one thing that with these books you'll notice, if you turn to page 95, it's been highlighted with yellow.
Okay.
No, but I did want to mention that it's got a little bit about you in here too, doesn't it? About your business and
yeah, and I appreciate that shameful plug. But Dan, he was a good mentor for me, and that's like these young people today. One thing I was telling Cody and Heath today is a quote that I heard years ago says, your future is determined by the books you read and the people you meet. In fact, I heard Creflo Dollar, and a lot of people probably don't know who Creflo Dollar is. He's a minister on television and kind of a motivational speaker too, but I heard him say the same quote. But Dan is just an inspiration for me, but just a great guy, just got the heart of a servant, and a good book, and it can change some lives.
All right, so No More Mondays, that's the name of the book by Dan Miller, and the first person to get the answer right, not necessarily the first caller, the first person to get the question correct.
Look for the right answer.
And that winner is Evelyn Hicks. We already have a winner, so Evelyn, congratulations. The answer to that question is the superintendent of Rutherford County Schools, Harry Gill Jr.
Yeah, congratulations.
So Evelyn, thanks for calling in and being with us today. We are at Smyrna West Alternative School. We're talking about not necessarily just the Job Shadow program, Mike, but just about what's going on here at Smyrna West. And I can kind of feel from you and talking to you about this, and when we were talking about the preparation of the show, it kind of hits, not necessarily hits home, but it's one of those things that you're passionate about just because of the impact that this school is making on so many lives.
Yeah, I really believe in this school. I believe in Miss Davenport. I hear nothing but good things about it. These kids, I know a boy that come through here. In fact, he was at church last night with my wife, him and a couple other boys, and he didn't want to come back to the school. And I won't say his name, but he doesn't want to come back to the school. It made a difference in his life. I know that he had told me that he had to earn mustard to put on his hamburger, and I thought that was kind of neat, because I tried to use that reverse psychology on him, say you can't do nothing for you kids, y'all are trouble, just trying to reverse it on him, and he's like, oh, I don't believe that, and he's kind of turned around. He really has. And these young boys with me today, they were very polite, and it doesn't sound like they want to come back over here, But what we're seeing so much, we're seeing the shooting at O'Charlie's, we're seeing more gang activity, we're seeing more crime, more youth crime, more drug problems, and now we building a new $20 million correctional work center, juvenile detention facility. The sheriff's jail is full. Want to hire more police officers and so forth. And to me, you got to catch them when they're young. I mean, and that's what I'm saying about the healthy don't need a doctor. It's those that are at risk that need more. In fact, I think more attention sometimes. And that's what this school does. I think it can help turn these kids around.
Well, I want to let you introduce some of the, I guess some of these young men were with you today. Is that
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
yeah, I can introduce them.
All right, and I'll just let you talk to them a little bit.
Well,
here.
let me. I'll first let's get Cody Parks here. Cody was with me, and come to find out, Cody's grandfather was my dad's best friend, which my dad's passed on now, but was my dad's best friend. And we've got Heath McKenzie with us. But Cody, go ahead. Well, tell us about Smyrna West and maybe the impact it's had on your life and so forth.
I've been in Smyrna West for a good while, for a few years. I've been here, and I learned a lot from here. Kind of look at it as my home school, and it taught me a lot. And I actually appreciate the school. It straightened me out a lot. I didn't think it really would, because I really didn't like going to school. And I guess Smyrna West helped me a lot.
Now, how many more weeks will you have here? Will you finish out the whole year here, or will you go back to Smyrna?
Hopefully I'll get out. I'm on level 3, so I'm doing the program.
Okay, so you've progressed on your level, and that's kind of like today. The job shadow was really you had to be selected and be at a certain level to be able to participate. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you learn anything today with me?
I learned a lot. For every penny you spent, there's a penny you earned.
Yeah, Brett, what I tell, I gave him like 10 different quotes to try to memorize. Penny saves, penny earns. We talked about a few things.
You didn't make him memorize the Sam Davis thing, did you?
No, I should have worked with that one too. I'll probably talk their heads off, but we had a good time. Heath, you want to make a few comments?
My name is Heath, and I mean, the school has really taught me, like, don't screw up, basically. And I've decided, like, the reason I'm in here, I'm going to quit that. Because, like, it got me in here, I guess. And, like, my previous school / previous year, like, I was making straight F's almost the last 6 weeks. But ever since I came here, like, trying to do what I got right, I've gotten A's, B's, and C's, which is pretty good for me, and
Good.
no calls to home.
And you know, you've got the chance to get these things right now before it really impacts your life. When you have a family later on, you know, a wife and kids and things of that nature later on, and then these things happen, and you know, it affects more lives. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't affect lives and parents and things in your life, but if you get these things straight now, then later on it doesn't impact you as greatly. It helps with the county system, like you were saying a minute ago.
Penny saves a penny earned.
Well, I mean, that's one less person you have to worry about putting in a juvenile center or a correctional facility or whatever the case may be.
Exactly. Well, when we were leaving, we had rode out, and I grew up in this area. You know, we used to walk up here to school, and when I came here, which it wasn't alternative school back then, but you know, I grew up out of Smyrna Primary School, and still live over in that area. But you know, as I was driving down, I was kind of telling those boys, it's some of the things that I done, some of the decisions that I made, some of the people that I hung out with, I would have been in this school. I'm gonna tell you, I would be here. You know, if not, if I would get caught, I'd have been in jail. You know, I made some bad choices, but I finally, you know what, and this is what I share with them. The one thing that made me think, I thought, man, I didn't want to disappoint my mother. When I thought about it, I said, you know, I don't want to, if I got caught doing some of these things I was doing, I didn't want to hurt my mother, you know, because my dad wasn't in the home, you know, and that was what really made me kind of think, man, I got to get away from some of this stuff, you know, because some of the guys I was running with made some bad decisions and were involved in drugs and stealing and just done some stupid things, you know. So it is about the decisions you make.
Heath, what would you say to someone else who may not be making the right decisions? Maybe there's a parent listening that has a young person such as yourself that really doesn't know what to do. What would you say to that young person? I mean, they may have some mistakes that they're in the midst of right now. What would you tell them?
And what most people have told me, pick your friends wisely, because friends is almost 50% chance of what get you in this trouble.
Yeah.
And just stay away from that. You should know better.
Is there something, and what happened with you is no relevance to this whole conversation, but was there something inside of you somewhere that said, you know, I don't need to be here, I don't need to be doing this, but you did anyway because of the peer pressure, I guess? I mean, was there something that said, you know, this isn't necessarily the right thing to do, but I'm here, I'm popular with these guys, let's do it?
I mean, like, I knew it wasn't right to do, and it's not really because I didn't mean for it to happen, basically, and it wasn't because of friends, though. I just didn't mean it to happen. I mean for it to happen, and when I was around my friends, you know, I showed it, and, you know.
A lot of times there's you know, you got an internal guide. You know, you do have an internal guide that will steer you in the right direction, but don't always listen to. What about these other young men over here, Mike?
Yeah, why don't y'all pass the mic over? Go ahead and introduce yourself, Chase.
Hey, how you
Doing good. What was your experience like? Who did you job shadow with today?
doing? I job shadowed with Lamb from
Paul Lamb.
Paul Lamb
Oh,
from
wow,
Smyrna
okay.
Airport.
The airport, the
Yes,
aircraft stuff. Good. What'd you think about that?
I really liked it. It's a lot of stuff that I really wanted to know about air stuff. So, I mean, I actually learned a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to know my whole life.
Yeah. What did now? What school are you from originally? What
I'm
school?
from Black.
Blackman. Okay. Okay. Will you finish out this year here, or will you be out in the next few weeks?
Hopefully, maintain myself to get out from next week as
Good. Oh, really?
18, yes, sir.
Good. So you're, what level are you at?
Level 3.
Level 3.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
What has been your experience here at the school, and has it made a difference in your life?
It's made a big difference in my life. I
In
mean,
what ways?
people just don't understand what stuff they do. They put their mom and dads through, and I mean, just coming here, people think it'd be a strict school, and it is strict. If it wasn't strict, then people would just come in here and do what they want. I'd rather the school be strict to show people that they need to make something of themselves instead of going around and doing what their friends do, because your friends, like what he and Cody said, your friends are going to judge you and they're going to make you do mistakes and stuff, but basically it's going to be your decision to hang out with them or not hang out with them.
But you do know that you figure out who your real friends are when they support you in the right decisions, you know, and they're not necessarily friends if they're trying to steer you in the wrong direction and do the wrong things.
That's true.
You mentioned the school being strict, and that's structure. Sometimes that's what it takes to steer people in the right direction. But has it changed your life? I mean, is this something that you want to maintain? I know everybody looks forward to something concluding, but sometimes people fall back. Like Miss Davenport mentioned, you know, there have been a few that have been back. You don't want to be in that situation, I'm sure?
No, sir, I don't. I want to make something myself and go around and make good grades and make my mom and dad proud. That's basically what I want to do. Show them that I have responsibility, so whenever I'm on my own, they won't have to worry about what I'm doing.
Yeah, good. Sound like maturity.
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
17.
17. Good.
What about Mr. Rodriguez there?
Yeah. Eric, go ahead. Who'd you shadow with today?
Shadowed with Mr. Philip George.
Philip George. Okay. Why don't you tell us about your experience?
My experience here, you know, I was just making wrong decisions, and here, you know, I really appreciate the staff here. You know, you do a lot more stuff here at Smyrna West than you do like at Smyrna or Vernon. They're more active. They willing to help you more over here. So I really like. I ain't gonna say I like it here because I want to go back to my home school.
Yeah.
But I have learned more here than I did at a regular school.
You get a lot more one-on-one with teachers and all, and you know, everybody has a different level of not only learning but understanding. There's one thing about books, and that's when you go to school, you learn your history and your math. But are there other things that you've learned here at Smyrna West?
Yes, sir. Like I learned how to control my attitude because I had a lot of attitude problems, anger problems. You know, people here when they work with you, yes, they test you at times, you know, so they can see if you can control yourself. But they're willing to help you out, and they're willing to help you out through your problems, whatever you have.
Mike, young people here, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
You know, we all have a place in society. It's just where we want to be, and we have to. Young people, that's what they are. I mean, you have to help in steering the right direction.
Well, you got to look at the impressions that's out there. I mean, look at your movies, look at your violence, look at your games out there, your video games. I mean, full of violence. Look at some of your music. I mean, one of y'all mentioned, is it Tupac? You know. I was kidding, somebody saying it was urban country, you know, kidding Brian because he didn't know who it was. But, you know, some of the lyrics, it is pretty negative, you know, and you can't really let that stuff infiltrate your mind. And it is, your future is based on, like I had told you, Cody, that, you know, and Heath, you know, the people, the books you read and the people you meet, you know, and it's about decisions. Decisions have consequences, you know. And we talked about the balance in life, you know, which is, you know, the social aspect, friendship, education, spiritual, which is sometimes left out, you know, and I think you've got to make good decisions. Surround yourself with positive elements, you know, and unfortunately, not everybody has those positive elements in the home place.
Before we get away here for our next break, I want to bring in Deborah Pack. And Deborah, you'll have to pardon me, I can't read that far away on your badge, but what is it that you, are you science?
I am science, yes,
I just picked that up, so
yes,
I could see the SC, but I can't see very well. What is it about this school and that makes a difference?
Well, I think that, as Ms. Davenport said, we deal with a hope child, and we really work on forming good habits, working on ethical things, moral, helping them to make good decisions, And our school is kind of like a continuum. We're at the punitive end when they first come here. But as they progress, we start moving toward getting them accomplishments and letting them see that they can succeed. And once they begin to succeed, I think success is there. It's being able to get to the point where they see that they can actually succeed.
So Deborah, for you, it's not, here's my lesson plan, and I've got this on this day and this on this day for everybody for the first 5 periods, and
Absolutely not.
it's individual, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've got our basketball court that we got this year, thanks to Mike Hollinshead. And we've used that, and some of these here are looking forward to get to play Monday. And it's a reward thing that we do, and the sportsmanship and teamwork that you see is just incredible.
You know,
you
you
see
mentioned
the turnaround.
You mentioned Mike Hollingshead. If anybody out there knows Mike was, you think some of y'all made bad decisions, Mike Hollingshead. This was Mr. Rakes, and I don't think Mike might be saying this. Mr. Rakes told him, don't even come to this school, because that's how bad Mike was. And Mike turned it around, you know. And Mike is a good guy, but he was just wild as a snake. And but he's turned it around, and Mike has just got a heart. I mean, just a big heart for those that need help out there.
I just got a message here that Mike was going to call you after the show. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't want him on my case.
But he was instrumental on the basketball court, getting that done quickly, and I mean, we're just tickled with the results that we've had.
Do you like the challenge that this gives you? I mean, it's not, face it, you're not in the normal teaching position that another science teacher would be.
You're exactly right, but I love it. I love when you look around and you see them when they first come, and then you look at them at the table where they sit today. It's all worth it. And we have some that don't make it, but the ones that do cover everything.
Would you describe yourself at times as having to be tough as nails?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I try to be, we all do. We try to be firm, fair, and consistent. And we expect them to do what they're supposed to do. And when they do, we try to reward them. And, you know, we look them in the eye and they look us in the eye. And we let them know that we know they can do it. Mm-hmm. And we expect them to do it.
Boy, how big is consistency? I mean, that's something that we probably don't get, you know.
It's huge here. And we're all the way through our program. All the teachers, and we're on the same page. Different personalities, which is just as important. I told one of our students today that hopefully when you leave here, one teacher will have made the difference. You know, we're all so different in personalities. Some people connect with different people, and we've got such a diverse faculty, I think, that we can accomplish that.
But it's all rewarding for all of you when one does.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter who touches them, just as long as they get touched.
There you go. All right, we're going to come back and wrap it up here in just a second. Let me get your weather forecast here. We want to just let you say a final word.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to thank Senator Jim Tracy, for coming out, touring the school today. He talked to all these kids. It is about $30,000 to house a prisoner. We got Josh Smith here. He's doing a job shadow with me tomorrow. Josh, you want to say a word or two?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I appreciate all that you've done for me. You got me out there to meet a lot of people, and you got me so far good chances in to meet, you know, people I need for the future of my career as I'm looking to pursue law enforcement.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've looked at toured the correctional facility with you, and you know, job shadowed you as a commissioner, and you know, that's been a great opportunity for me.
Yeah, good kid, and Josh very mannerly, and his folks are moving to Ohio, and he's not wanting to move this May, right? He wants to stay down here. Well, hopefully he get hooked up with a good job and pursue his career in law enforcement. So.
Well, we've enjoyed our day here today. Mike, thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Great job, and thanks for putting this all together. And for Jenny and Cody and Heath and Chase and Eric and Josh, and of course Kay Davenport, the principal here at Smyrna West Alternative School. Thanks for being with us today. We're going to take a time out here for the news. All sports talk is straight ahead here on WGNS. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. for Rutherford Issues.